Welcome back to From Head to Toe. It's me, Naomi Smalls, and we are recapping RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18, Episode 3. This week, the girls are channeling their favorite animal, whatever animal speaks to them. Either they studied endangered species and this one really gravitated towards them, or just an animal that they thought could be turned into a fierce look.
Rude animal by COCO.
Now that we are so many seasons in the game, so many episodes down of RuPaul's Drag Race, I feel like they are plucking from the past runways that like really worked if they're not coming up with like a new concept. Last week they tapped back into season 5 where they had their favorite body parts. This week they're tapping into season 6 with this whole like animalistic vibe. And this reminds me of Ben de la Crème's look. This reminds me of Courtney Act's wings look. And I'm excited to see how the girls take on their favorite part of the animal kingdom for the RuPaul's Drag Race main stage. Thank you so much for your patience this week. This episode is a little bit delayed. I just got back last night. You can probably hear it in my voice a little bit this week. I'm a little bit jet lagged. I'm a little bit...
I didn't quite cough like a man, but...
Up first, we have RuPaul. And RuPaul is almost like, there's very few times I think that RuPaul actually taps into the theme. And this is a very soft take on the whole animalistic vibe, but fur always takes you there. And this is everything. I love RuPaul in this look. I love this choice of color. This like brown chocolate this looks so rich. It's crazy that she took something like two fabrics that are so synthetic, like sequin and this faux fur, but this blend in this color gives it such a, gives it like elegance. It makes it like read expensive. It makes it read like a little bit more mature in a way that is appropriate. And the power of angles that she's working with is just so obvious here. Like nothing is like these like horizontal like lines across her chest of the fur, and like not doing the mermaid gown with the horizontal like bottom of the dress, having all these like diagonal lines on the train, having her like asymmetrical shawl on top, I think just adds like a lot of length to her neck. I think that's really important when you are in drag to not look so like huddled up. I love this like disc ring that she has in the bronze. Matching the bronze with this chocolate color palette is just the perfect way to tap into that. And I think bronze is actually a color that we don't use that much in drag. Brown is a color that I think we don't really use that much in drag, and this just marries perfectly. Having the yellowish, goldenish blonde is also a very smart choice. I think that this could have been taken to a completely different realm with that like white platinum that she likes to wear, or just any more of a pale blonde, or even like that red that she was wearing last week, I think would have been the wrong choice for this. But the warmth from head to toe is really pleasing, and even her makeup is like a lot more neutral than we've had in past weeks. When I think of RuPaul, this is the hair that I think of. This is very Matthew, this is very Curtis, and I love to see it. Discord ADDAMS is our first girl on the runway, and Discord is doing the albino alligator. I love the theme, I love this subject, I love the animal that she plucked from for this. I thought it was really smart, maybe too smart for Drag Race. This whole like wearing the human as an exotic skin instead of how us humans wear reptiles as exotic skin. She's the reptile wearing the human as the exotic skin. Definitely a thinker. I do appreciate that, especially when coming up with a theme for RuPaul's Drag Race. This makeup on Discord this week, matched with this white, I think makes so much sense for her drag persona. She did like this like very graphic red eye with the red contacts and the red lips, and having all these snakes and hides sewn together in a way that creates this like garment with like fringe, I thought was a very smart way to add movement to her runway. I will say, like, I think that this shoe could have been just a little bit more pussy, but I get it. It's a big volume on top, there's big volume on bottom. I think I probably would have just gone with like more of a thigh-high, sleek, reptile-y boot, or like more of like a nude, barely there, strappy shoe. Discord was definitely quick to tell Sarah Sherman about this like 3D printed bag of her face that blinks and moves, and I thought that was just a really, like, there's a battery hiding in her bag, and it looks so effortless, but there's so much work that goes into making this look cunt, and you gotta respect she thought long and hard about this look for the main stage. Up next, we have Mia Starr, and Mia Starr is giving the pink poodle. I feel like on Drag Race now, we've hit so many poodles being referenced. She took her Afro puffs, and she has her Afro puffs on her head. She has her Afro puffs on her tits, wrist, ass. She's doing the continental cut, which is like the hardest cut to do as a dog groomer on these standard poodles. I just think that she does really good, thought out drag. This look is so ready for a stage, and I'm gonna tell you why it's so ready for a stage. What's missing from this look that could like really make it a runway full head to toe look is just incorporating that like pink fluff on the bottom half of her look. I think without that, this look just screams so active. Like it's like in the bars, running around grabbing tips. It's perfect for that. But like, since we're on the main stage and we're gonna get like a camera looking at you from the front, the back, the side, the facts at home are gonna be talking about you for forever. You have to like make it everything look thought out. So I think this look is really clean. It's really clean drag. She has a star earring. She has a star choker. She has AB only used, which I think was really smart for this like pale pink color. Pastels and AB is like, I think, my favorite use of AB. I actually really like this exposed panty with this look for a pink poodle because I think the placement and having it in that like diagonal V section, it's very soft, it's very feminine. It almost gives like the belly of a dog without being too like, look, I have fucking like 10 nipples on me. It just, there's something a little abstract about it to me, and maybe I just really like Mia Starr, so I'm trying to have it make sense in my head, but I'm not mad at this like V satin shiny panty with this look. Just probably would have done an open toe boot with some sort of like shearling or fur little pom-poms on the shoe. All right, up next we have Mandy Mango, and Mandy Mango is representing a deer. I totally understand this choice. I feel like having like a fascinator with the antlers is really smart for this. Something that's very long and elegant and like works with like padded out body shape. I feel like whenever I notice like a gazelle or deer or anything, they always have tiny waist, big hips, long legs. So I get it. I'm obsessed with this skirt and the placement of this skirt. I love that it's like low, it's high hip, low crotch, low ass. She probably did not need the tail, but for animal, I also understand why she did the tail. I think that there's some girls for this category that probably could have just like relied on like the fascinators or like makeup details instead of like dressing up as like a mascot. I think that I would have gotten deer with Maddie if she just maybe just did the ears and the antler headpiece, because having these like big clunky arms, I think was a little random and a little like putting your hands in like two cups, like two Dixie cups. But this skirt is my favorite part of this look. I love that it has like this like padded out detail on the hips. It reminds me of this like Dolce 2007. Jessica Stam walked it.
Girl, shut the fuck up. You thought you ate that? Bitch,
This top is very random because I think it's actually just like a bunch of binder clips that are holding up like a little like doily of fabric over her tits. And I wish that it would have just been like a more thought out top for this. The binder clips make it a little bit, a little too DIY for how I think this skirt is. And I love that she has like the train behind her. I do love her in brown hair. I think it softens her up so much. I just hate that she had to go home in this look. I think that when you're on Drag Race, it's so hard to plan out like when you're gonna do something different and when you're not, because it's that fear of like, am I gonna go home writing on a mirror in a look that like doesn't even represent me, or I can barely even see like my drag persona through it. So I feel bad for her in that way, which is why I probably, if I ever had to go back, would just paint always and let the outfit do all the storytelling. Up next, Darlene Mitchell. And Darlene Mitchell is a cow. Darlene Mitchell is a brown cow.
Brown cow, stunning.
She is a sexy cow. I'm not sure if this was like her like gloves and her boots, I think, are the coolest thing about this look. I don't know if there's like a latex or some sort of like plastic type of, it just looks like skin. Of course, I wish that she was wearing like a heel. It did not need to be like a pleaser version of this, but like a 3-inch heel with these like cow shoes would have been like just enough. When we're in drag, we can't be flat. We need to have, especially as like a giant man, like, sorry, especially if you are a giant out of drag, I just feel like it looks so weird when you are flat-footed going down the runway, when you're flat-footed wearing a pair of tits, when you're flat-footed trying to serve. It's just really, really hard to do that. And you can tell even when she's walking down the runway, there's moments where she's like tippy toes, and that just like makes her look so much longer, so much more, so much more cow. The boobs are, it's okay. It's okay. This look is definitely okay. I like that she did add her like bovine hip though. I thought that was back to the gazelles, back to the deers. Like having a hip, I think, is very randomly animalistic, or it like helps portray woman through your animalistic look. I hate crushed velvet so much. I really do. I don't know if real velvet would have like saved this cape from being anything more than it is, or this hat, but crushed velvet is just like so ugly to look at on the main stage, because all you just see is the texture, and instead of it just like soaking up light like we like velvet to do, all you're seeing is like the lines and the grooves and the, I don't know, it just looks like dirty to me. And I think that drag, unless you're trying to do it on a different show, this is where you're supposed to look clean. This is supposed to be like the first time you've ever worn this look. Not supposed to, I don't know. Crushed velvet and I have a weird relationship, but maybe one day you're gonna see me in a crushed velvet look. Who knows? Maybe I'll eat my words one day. I love the size of this hat for Darlene. She knew she needed that with this like big shoulders and her big feet and her big gloves. But a heel would have really helped this. And I think if we're gonna be a cow, lean in with the snout, maybe lean in with the pink, doing like pink breastplate, maybe another pair breastplate for like udders. But she was in the top, so who cares? Up next, we have Athena DION, and Athena DION is doing a white barn owl. I thought that this was amazing. I thought that this was like such a departure from the like slingshot, Florida, Versace, Ariel type vibes we've been getting the past couple weeks. I feel like this has a lot of thought that went into it. I would love to know her reference for this. It has like these like tassels everywhere that add movement. It has the feathers that add movement. It has a second type of feathers that add movement. There's so much embellishing that goes into this. It's so random for her. Like this look is so random for Athena, but I love it. It has like the face kini. I think if I were to pluck any pussy hairs on this, I think that her face, especially because they didn't have to like do Drag Race Live and then hop into this runway. They really just got to focus on their makeup for this runway. Like she did the face kini, so she didn't really have to paint her face too much. She really only, like, this is only showing and her eyes are only showing. I think she could have just used a crease. I am the crease police. I am a contact police. And it's really from my own experience from like hating any time I saw myself in drag without a crease. A little smoky crease and a contact I think would have just like this up. But the muted yellow fabric mixed with the white sequin was really smart. This like gold embellishment placement, so smart. And I thought that this was really great timing in her time on Drag Race to do something different and unexpected and keep the audience guessing what's next. Up next, we have BRIAR Blush. And BRIAR Blush is doing the White Swan / Black Swan. For someone who has the prettiest face of the season, this is now the second week she's covering it up. And it makes me sad. It makes me a little bit sad because I want to see her face, but I get it. You can't plan these out. You literally get to find out the runway when the audience kind of finds out the runway. So like, you can't be like, okay, well next week I'm gonna do that because 2 weeks ago I had a mask. I wish that she would just like either leaned into doing all black or all white because last week she did all black with the funeral. I wish she just would have been all white this week. As a viewer, I'm telling you, she can't plan that shit in the workroom. But I think an all white crystalled out swan mask with like that orange beak and like nudish, pinkish ballet versions of the shoes she's wearing right now, I think we would have been like, oh yeah, white swan, oh yeah, ballet. This like dark on her face with this like white everything around it, I think just like looks a little closed in for her. And I think that the white would have just like, same shape, same everything, just white crystals instead. It would have been like, added some like, to this look with the like, of her like white ostrich going down the runway. I think she actually could have kept this on to lip sync, to be honest, because I thought it looked gorgeous moving around the RuPaul's Drag Race main stage. Up next, NINI COCO. And NINI COCO is doing a frog. I thought this was everything. All these individual sewn on patches, like this is not a fabric. This is probably a base fabric that was like white, that was airbrushed blue and yellow in a very intentional way. Also having the like yellow rhinestones meticulously placed like just on the belly. This is the perfect amount of like accent stoning, I think, for Drag Race, where it's not like trying to be encrusted or just trying to be like, let's stone the whole thing, but there's so many gaps everywhere. This looks organic. This looks like very on purpose. And I'm just so impressed at how NINI COCO attacks drag. It's so detailed. The fly earrings give it like something fun and obvious, but like not so serious. Gives it whimsy, gives it drag. She made it drag. And then she like made this like bra, padded, mind you. She's not flat chested. Love that. This bra to make it womanly out of the frog spots, and then sewed on like the shoulder patches out of that same material, and then all these like spots. It's just so custom. This wig that is like the shape of a frog's head with the eyes on the side of the head, and all these like really like gorgeous like waves and curls all around her face. And the fact that the wig is also like not one shade of blue. There's like highlights and lowlights and dimension of blue. Like this is a bitch who really knows what she's doing. And I love to see it. Up next, Kenya Pleaser. And hey, Kenya Pleaser, okay. Her body looks great. I love that she has the shoulder pad. I love that she has the high hips and the high ass, and she has her tits in the right place, and she's obviously like cinched. I love that she has an appropriate size hat for this look, and I love that she knew she needed a skirt for this. Like she couldn't just come out like this is my crotch, y'all. Like, she needed some sort of like sarong or some sort of belt or some sort of something to add like a womanly interest to this. But I do think like there's something about this like netted fabric that is around the brim of the hat and her skirt that doesn't necessarily go with the like vinyl of her boots. And I almost just wish she had like a little, there's something wrong about like the grid matte fabric of that net against this like black shiny PVC that doesn't look so thought out. And if you're gonna do a tail as an animal look, you do, like, why not just have a pair of ears? Why not have a pair of ears? Why not have like some whisker definition? This hat, I think, is like the perfect opportunity to have ears. Even just put on the hat. You don't need to like have like any prosthetic ears or anything like that. This like playing in with, if you're gonna go tiger, let's go tiger. I do love that she made her tiger a pimp, because that animal skin and pimp, I think, actually just go hand in hand. And then when she adds the gold tooth, it makes it drag, it makes it fun. And this Mary J. Blige like hair with it is a great choice for a pimp tiger. Up next, we have CIARA MYST. And CIARA MYST is a chameleon. Really cool things happening here, really cool shapes happening here. I love the detail of all these like pearl stones, multicolored pearl stones being the embellishment for this, not rhinestones. I think it adds like a lot of like texture, because when you think of like a lizard or a reptile, you're like, they're so like bumpy, so grainy. And I think that pearls was a really good choice for this. The airbrushing is very impressive with this. I love that she has the like the veins in her bodysuit for a lizard reptile. I think that takes it there. I do think that her makeup could have probably been more her face instead of like this like character one color makeup. I mean, this like headpiece is so detailed. This the eyes and the shape of the head, and like if she put her head down, you would know she's a chameleon, and then she put her face up and she was just like painted and gorgeous. I think it really would have worked. Someone's makeup that I've noticed in the challenge that I thought really could have worked for this, like the color palette, was like Darlene Mitchell. She was doing this like kind of like this geisha-y almost, like with the greens and the yellows, and like it's like geisha-y 80s. Would have been really cool inside of CIARA MYST's face here, because the way that she like painted her face, almost like him from Powerpuff Girls, I feel like just like does not read on the runway. And I feel like she's supposed to be like the mouth. It's just, it's something's off with the face. But I do appreciate how different everything else is for Drag Race. Just to your face, just paint your face, paint your fucking face. I promise you, you will not regret it. But I did love the tongue as a purse. I thought that was really cool. And like gave it a little bit more woman, gave it a little bit more drag. Up next, Jane Don't. And Jane Don't is a macaw. I love this. I feel like this is exactly how I would have like approached this runway. Not necessarily this look, but doing something that's more like playing with like the like fashion inspired by an animal instead of dressing up as an animal. I definitely understand like why she chose this color palette. There's just like so much opportunity to go and like make this like fun. I feel like her skin tone, her hair color, like it plays with all these like bright yellows and bright greens, and like she can do that and it like makes sense. I think if the other girls would have got the memo to like do something a little bit more inspired by animals instead of dressing up like animals, this look would have been like a swing. But because everyone else was so like, I'm a cow, you know, it just looked like she didn't put as much effort in. But if you really get into this look, it's so meticulous. Like even the placement of all the feathers in the bodice, and then like she has like her hair is like center parted with like this like feather like dome cap that goes into the fascinator that's almost like this like bird of paradise. Just looks really detailed. The makeup is really everything. She's constantly telling me that she's like more of like a stylistic girl, more of like a fashion girl than a costume girl. Up next, we have MYKI MEEKS, and MYKI MEEKS decided to be a cheetah. I grew up in the world of Tumblr, and when I tell you that cheetah hair dye and cheetah like buzzing your hair and then dyeing it blonde and then painting on the cheetah spots, yes, with the celery, very Anthony Ronquillo, shout out. This was the time for the cheetah hair, and I actually like have rarely ever really liked when like girls be painting their wigs, but like I thought that this was really clean. Whoever did this for MYKI ate that. And it's hard to have hair down, painted, and then be in motion because there's so much opportunity for it to look like it almost like only reads for camera. So that's why I was so impressed by this wig, or this hair, my bad. I wish that she had a pair of ears with this look, because again, she has a tail, but it's almost different from MYKI because her tail acts as a prop, like it's a lasso. So I get it, because she's a cowboy, but also like are cheetahs and Western in the same world? Whatever. I love her so much that I just have to like this. And I thought about cheetahs makeup in the past, like when doing my friends, like getting them ready for Halloween, like how are we gonna do this? I really like that she like took the cheetah like eyeliner all the way down to her like mid cheek. I thought that was really gorgeous and a really like smart way to tie into what a real cheetah looks like. And she like drew on these like painted bottom lashes that was the right amount of like real girl mixed with like cosplay, mixed with like ready for Drag Race. The look is probably not my favorite for MYKI, but I mean, I love the Mugler cowboy reference. I absolutely understand wanting that. I think if I were to do a different vibe for MYKI, I probably would have definitely kept that hair, maybe like gelled up a little, like either done like a headband full of like, that was like hair headband, if that makes sense, like almost like those like gaga hair bows, but just like ears, like a hair covered ear with this like cheetah bust down, cheetah hair, cheetah eyeliner detail, maybe the ears, and then just done like all cheetah print look. And it could have been just a bunch of cheetah prints, either like 3 cheetah print fabrics, textures mixed together, or just one cheetah print that was like a body stocking and a top and a short and all that jazz. But hey, I'm obsessed with MYKI. She looks gorgeous, always. Up next, we have Juicy Love Dion. And Juicy Love Dion is a pangolin. And this is everything. This is absolutely everything. I feel like she knows this is everything. She was probably so happy that this runway landed on this week, because sometimes it really works out in your favor. And the idea to do this while other people are dressing up as cats and cows and everything just made her stand out in such a great way. She's also like tying into the same color palette that Rue's wearing this episode, which I feel like almost like rarely happens. The rhinestone mix that she chose for the skin out parts of this was really smart. I love that her skin out parts are a little like deeper and darker than her natural skin tone. I think it just adds depth to this runway. And the body stocking with her, this is what I'm telling you guys, just pink and let the outfit do everything for you. Let the accessories do it for you without having to rely on like, I'm gonna draw my fucking mouth shape into a beaver's, like, bad example, but like try to be a beaver, and instead of like just doing like a like fascinator beaver hair moment kind of a thing, painting your a smile on with like fucking like buck teeth. Like we don't have to be doing all that. You can literally just be a drag queen and let the outfit do the work for you. The shape of the shoulders and all these individually cut paillettes that are like all sewn together to give it the scales of this like pangolin, armadillo, hedgehoggy type vibe is just so smart. I love this like sheer mesh covered heel that she's doing and the stones that are on it. Again, almost like NINI COCO, I think this is the perfect amount of stones for Drag Race. She didn't need it to be encrusted body. She didn't need to like just put 3 stones on there. And I think it actually added to have like, I think she has like 3 or 4 different color stones mixed in there. And I think it was nice to not have just like a matte leg if she just did the mesh. It makes it less theme park and more drag. Up next, VITA VONTESSE STARR. And VITA VONTESSE is doing a zebra. As an optical illusion from the front and at the very back of the runway, I thought this was a slam dunk. Really cool from the front. I love the mohawk. I totally understand like when you're thinking of what animal to do, like wanting to do something mohawky for the animal, and I feel like zebra, giraffe really like lend itself to that. I love that she has like her shape is so correct for, again, when imitating a zebra or a horse or a cow or anything, having that waist with the big hips really helps. I feel like she could have had a friend in the room tell her about like her foundation missing from the back of her ear. And it's like that's something that like, I mean, I don't even know if I put fucking foundation on the back of my ear today, but I'm only saying that because yes, there's cameras from every single angle, but when you're painting yourself white, like all this is gonna be like exposed. So that is a bummer. And I think that she probably would have just benefited from a like some sort of mouth on this look. And if she didn't want to have her mouth covered the entire time or like doing a prosthetic, she could have just, you know, like masquerade, like something just like cunty in here, like holding up on her face, like would have really helped not to just have like this like grayish, like dull eyeshadow set center of her face. But it works like when she has her mouth closed and she's looking at you dead on. It works, but then when you turn to the side, and since we are on Drag Race, everything is in motion, everything is being seen. That side shot is evil for these girls. There's always something, maybe that will be like, there's gonna be like the best shoe, the best wig, and the most evil side shot, because this is the most evil side shot of the night. She's been ridden, destroyed, attacked by a lion, attacked by a pangolin, attacked by that evil side shot. Trey didn't like the session, so she had gutted me, took me to the safari, fucked me upside down, and put me on the main stage of RuPaul's Drag Race. Definitely not crystallized this week, but I don't even know. This is a look. I like the tail though. It's very zebra. Very like it would go up when she farts. Very dainty. And that was all the girls of episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race season 18. My favorite look of the week, my best look, from head to toe, every thought out detail, hat, covered heel, perfectly placed rhinestones, was definitely Juicy Love Dion. I thought this look was so smart for Animal without being like cosplay, and I love the way that the train moves with her, and she never got like caught up on it. Everything just looked so correct for that animal species, sand shrew, sand millions, armadillo, pangolin type vibe. And she left her face always leave your face. Each week we're trying to do best shoe, best look, best wig. And best shoe, I'm gonna have to give it to Miss NINI COCO, I believe. I feel like she just had everything be from head to toe, and NINI COCO is also my best wig of the week. Having the multi-dimensional blue wig is so random and custom, and obviously she didn't just like have that plucked out of an eBay search. A lot of thought went into that, having all the like special like teeny meticulous waves around her ears, having the like hair structured waves up top that go into the frog head with this like black encrusted rhinestone frog eyes on the sides of the wig was so non-circus costume, but you get the point across. And I thought that was just a really smart way to attack rainforest frog, not doing some sort of like, I don't know. NINI, COCO, you just killed it this week. And that was all the girls from head to toe of episode 3 of RuPaul's Drag Race season 18. Next week, we're gonna be getting into all the girls without Mandy Mango, and I will miss seeing her approach to drag. I will miss seeing the way that her brain thinks. I will miss seeing the way that I'm sure she did not consult a stylist before going out here and giving it to us 100% her. But we have a pretty much full cast still to review. So tune in next week. Tune into the Patreon for the full peek behind the curtain at Naomi Smalls' life. And I will see you next week.